Hello, everyone coming to join us. Welcome to the Edvisor insurance webinar today. We're going to give it a minute to let people come in and filter in and join us, and then we'll get started. But a big hello to everyone who is going to be joining us today in person and also joining us in the recording, which you will be receiving after the event as well. So as I said, we'll give it around about a minute for people to come in and join us, and then we'll get started with some introductions and with a little overview of the format that we're going to be running as well. Okay, you can see people slowly filtering in, which is great. And you will see on screen, I have the wonderful Nick Moore from AHC and the fantastic David Samperi, who's joining us from France Line as well. After a brief presentation, they are going to be giving us some of their thoughts on using the Edvisor insurance tools. And I'm really excited to get their feedback and kind of give you guys some real life experiences from them both and how they use our insurance tools as well. Okay, we are reaching just 11:02, which is my cue to get started. And to give you a quick overview, we're going to do a quick presentation looking at our insurance tools and how they work. And then we're going to come and get Nick and David involved in discussing their use of things as well. So I'm just now going to share my screen. Hopefully you can all see this, no problem. And we will take you through how to take your business to the top with Edvisor's insurance tools. And really giving you the inside scoop from educators and from an educator's point of view as well. Now, COVID obviously changed the international education industry in a lot of different ways and in many different ways. But one of the things that we found that was paramount before, but it became even more sort of a focus for people, for agencies and schools alike, was student safety from that point of view. And people wanted to know not only that students were going to have to take into consideration their customers' health, but also then COVID coverage, last minute cancellation changes, and last minute changes in things as the situation became more unpredictable than ever as well. Now, we then saw a boom in demand for insurance. Just before the pandemic, we saw around about 25% of students coming through Edvisor were booking insurance, whereas that's jumped up to now in 2022, 75% of students buying insurance in advance of their study abroad plans as well. That being the case, and as we know, necessity is the cause of innovation a lot of the times as well. We, of course, innovated to introduce the Edvisor insurance marketplace into the Edvisor ecosystem. First of all, to agents, and now broadening this out so that educators both now have access to this wonderful set of tools as well. So you might say, well, how can Edvisor help you with this new trend in insurance sales? So, as I said, it was created to support partners like yourselves. We wanted to make it easier than ever to provide your students with the right type of insurance coverage, but also operationally look at how we can benefit our partner schools as well and make life a little bit easier as well. Now, the first thing we did, which is the most important thing, is to look at, well, make sure that we're partnered with the very best of insurance providers with the very best of products as well. And our portfolio of global and destination-specific insurance products is designed to cover all your needs as well. So whether you are a school in Quebec, in Canada, which has quite specific needs in terms of insurance, or you're an Australian school with OSHC requirements as well, and everything in between, we wanted to make sure that we had a product that is suitable for you as well. So you can access medical insurance and travel insurance, as well as cancellation and interruption insurance, which I think we're going to get onto a little bit later with David as well, to make sure that we've got a variety of types of essential coverage that you need to offer your students as well. And we want you to access the best agreements. So you might say, well, how does it work? Well, it couldn't be simpler. Essentially, Edvisor holds the agreement with the insurance provider, and you hold your agreement with Edvisor from that point of view. So we set out to negotiate the best agreements on behalf of our whole network, both agencies and schools, which is obviously a very large network as well, which means that we can bring some of the best rates to our industry partners as well. It may be that you already have a direct agreement with one of our providers as well. That's not to worry. You can, of course, schedule an appointment with your account manager at Edvisor, and we'll do our best to match or improve your current deal, as we want to try and also help with the operational flow of booking things as well. And that's where we get onto the maximum efficiency of using Edvisor as well. So when you start building a quote for your student within your Edvisor platform, you're actually, Edvisor Recruit users are able to do that within their own platform there as well. But we also have operational solutions for schools that include bulk booking through a form submission, and also our new Student Insurance Finder page, which really provides a B2C tool for you to be able to sell insurance 24/7 with as little operational worry as possible as well. Now, in addition there, you also have our support 24/7, 7 days a week as well. So as soon as you book through the insurance marketplace, you'll receive a confirmation from our team. You'll get a copy of the policy within the same day. You also get all the details about the partner insurance company that you've booked with, along with all the instructions and the steps that the student needs to follow in case of any incident as well. And of course, if you have any questions about the insurance, or if you have any insurance issues that are related to that, you can always schedule a call with your account manager at Edvisor, who's here to make sure that you've got everything that you need as well. And of course, the key factor, one of the key factors here as well, is then looking at revenue and instant revenue, because whilst obviously we want to make sure that every student is covered for what they need, and also the safety aspect, there is obviously a commercial aspect to this as well. And what we want to try and do is make sure that we are helping you monetize your services as much as possible through Edvisor as well. So I've added here a quick comparison table as well. Now, this is actually going to show you 3 different types of insurance that we offer: Vumi Medic, Tailor-made Worldwide, and Vumi Medic and Travel. These are just 3 of the many different options that we have. And we've shown you a 3-month, a 6-month, and a 1-year booking. And these are actually the commissions or margins that you would be making on these bookings as well. Now, a lot of schools view insurance as a side product or a bit of a side hustle, which we understand it's not your main revenue stream. However, this can be a really useful revenue stream to add into your business as well. And we want to try and make sure that's monetized as much as possible. Now, one of the great things here about the pricing here as well is when we're looking at these prices, you actually establish the sales price that you're going to be working with the majority of products as well. So these numbers in particular have been set up. Vumi Medic, for example, at a recommended retail price of $1.75 per day. And on a 3-month booking, that would net you $36 in margin coming into you there as well. Tailor-made here, the worldwide service medical insurance here. This again is a phenomenal insurance that gives you that actually covers $100,000 per incident or hospital visit as well. This again has a recommended retail price of $175 per day. And then the Vumi Medic and Travel insurance has a recommended retail price of $3 per day as well. Now, they're recommended prices, but you can actually decide how much margin you want to add on to here as well. So if you want to be more flexible with that, you have the ability to do that through the Edvisor system as well. So you might then ask, well, okay, I can see that the margins are quite good and I can see that we're providing solutions here, but actually, how do I get into the nuts and bolts of working with Edvisor on insurance? And there are 3 main ways that you can work with Edvisor Insurance through us. First of all, we have the Student Insurance Finder. This is a landing page that is created for B2C sales. And I'm going to give you a short demo on that in just a second as well. Now, the Student Insurance Finder can be branded with your branding colors, with your logo, with your information as well. And it allows you to sell insurance at any time, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year as well. It couldn't be simpler that we customize a landing page for you. Your student visits that landing page, searches for their insurance, and then books it through that landing page. We have our bulk booking tool. And this is if you are going to be sending multiple bookings at once to us, It's very easy. We have a form that you complete. You simply submit that to us, and within 24 hours, we will then make sure we've processed all of those bookings as well. And for those of you that use Edvisor Recruit, as we do have some schools that use the Edvisor Recruit system for direct selling as well, you'd actually be able to do it within the platform as well. Now, I'm going to just hop over quickly to another tab here to share with you, which is the Student Insurance Finder. So here you'll see this is branded as the Student Insurance Finder, but you would have your own logo and color scheme. You would also be able to have your own unique URL as well. And you can embed that on your website or include it on any invoices or quotes going out to students as well. Students would then be able to come to the website. They would search, obviously, their destination, the dates that they're traveling, and the number of travelers. And then they're going to be able to see all the different options of the providers that you are offering. Now, they will see this is based on the agreement you have made with us. So there may only be one or two options in here. You may use every option. It depends on what you want to offer. And one of the great things about the website is not only can you check what does this insurance all cover here as well, but you can actually look to compare. So if we, for example, select Vumi and these two Vumi, the Terrawind options, I can then come to the top and look at these two different insurances and compare the three different insurances and compare the policies with one another as well. I can then decide if I want to book that policy, and I'm able to then complete this myself on the website here as well. So they would actually complete their details, they would process the payment, and then get a purchase summary and be able to pay by credit or debit card through the landing page as well. You as a school would then get a copy of that policy that's been booked, and you would also get a notification to say that something has been booked as well, so that you can keep track of everything as well. For those of you using the Edvisor Recruit platform, again, very simple and straightforward. Within the platform, you have the Edvisor Insurance tab. You simply pop the destination that the student is going to, the dates that they are studying, and the age of the student. You can then hit search, and you're going to be able to see all the different options that you have available to you. This is a test account, so it has almost all of our different options in here, but you can scroll through and choose the one that you are looking for. So if, for example, we choose Terrawind again here, and I'm going to select this, you now just simply assign it to the student that you have been speaking to or that you are working with. In this case, it's Harry Kane. And then you add a number, the phone number, add the details in, and you're actually able to go through the whole process within your Recruit account, adding the extra information, making sure that they have completed all this information. I will just complete this quickly to show you. And then when you continue to the end, you'll now see the price that is being sold out to the student and what is going to be sent there for them to then book this insurance option. Now, if I continue here to complete the booking, I'm also now going to be able to see the commission or the margin that I am making as well. So the student will always see the gross price, but you will then see the net price from that point of view within the system here as well. And then finally, we have the bulk booking form, as I mentioned, which is if, again, you have groups or you have a number of policies to process at one time, you can simply come to the form, you can complete the form, add a Google Doc template, which is a spreadsheet, which allows us to then complete all of the bookings within 24 hours for you as well. Now, we'll just head quickly back to the presentation to continue on, we then have a comparison table here. Now, we are going to be sending out this presentation as well to people, but it gives you an idea of then comparing the different services available with the different types of platform to use and the different types of tool that we use as well, depending on your needs within here as well. Now, as I mentioned, I am joined by the wonderful Nick Moore, Director of OHC Groups and Sol Camps International, and obviously David Samperi as well, who's the COO and Growth Director at France Lang as well, who are two users of Edvisor Insurance as well. So I'm going to bring them into the conversation now so that we can start to have a little bit of a discussion on how they use Edvisor Insurance. Now, throughout this as well, our chat box is open. and we're welcome to any questions that come in as well. I should mention we also have Edu Gonzalez from our team here at Edvisor, who heads up our insurance operations. He is also going to be here in the chat to help with any questions. So feel free to add any in. Please use the Q&A as well as we go. But we will get started with some introductions. So David, I'm going to head to you first. Can you tell us a brief intro of who you are and how long you've been using Edvisor?
Hello, I'm David. I'm Spanish, but I work in France for France Langue. France Langue has 5 schools, and pre-pandemic, we used to do 7,000 students per year. Around half of them were from European Union, and the other half was from outside European Union. And that's, I think, for the insurance is quite important. I've been on France Langue for the last 8 years. Before I was in Estudio Sampere and other schools, and I've been using Edvisor. I really don't know, a lot of time, because I know Ben for years, and I know Nick when Edvisor was an idea. So I may say I was using Edvisor at the beginning of Edvisor, whatever this year is. So that's me.
Brilliant, fantastic. And Nick, can you give us a quick introduction to yourself as well, please?
Hey there, everyone. My name is Nick, and I'm the director of OHC Groups and Soul Camps International. I've been in the industry for about 11 years, and we're part of the Homes Education Group, working with 15 different schools around the world, doing group tours for them and running our junior products, our camp brand. It's been really helpful to work with an organization or a platform like Edvisor, which we've only just started doing for our groups and our camps, but our schools have been working with Edvisor for a couple of years as well. So yeah, very, very interested to talk a little bit more about our own experiences this recent summer.
Fantastic. Now, I am just double checking. I think we had some issues with the chat. So in case anyone hasn't been able to send messages through, I've just tried to change the settings and yes, I see now it's active. Fantastic. All right, brilliant. So we'll crack into our first question of today then for you both as well. And I'm interested to kind of hear, obviously we've mentioned that you're both users of Edvisor Insurance at the moment, but before that, how did you sell insurance, or did you sell insurance? David, I'll maybe pass to you first.
I never really sold insurance. We used to have a provider because we always need a provider, but it was more an extra job for my team. So I never put it on advance. I never tried to set it, because my main objective is not bringing more work to the people who are supposed to sell my courses. That's where I got the margin. So that was the first thing. I didn't consider I sold any insurance before Edvisor, and before Edvisor made it easy or as simple as possible, because we try to do something almost automatically, if not completely automatically. And that's, for me, was the most important thing, and the only way to start selling insurance without having extra job or extra work for the team.
Yeah. And Nick, how about you? Were you in a similar position, or?
Well, with schools, around the world, we needed to always, as David mentioned, have an insurance provider on hand in case students asked about them. But for our individual students, it was generally quite passive, our approach in introducing or selling these insurance plans. For the groups, we do cover insurance and build it into our programs. So it was pretty actively a part of whatever study tour option we designed. But to David's point and to the presentations, to reemphasize what you've mentioned in the presentation, really working with Edvisor and this marketplace and the platform that you guys have simplified and allowed us to truly, I think, have a lot of information, almost a one-stop shop for all the resources we needed, but also all the resources we were able to share and provide onto our clients, which is ultimately where any of that extra work David mentioned would come into play. So yeah, you guys really simplified that for us. And yeah, that's how we'll move ahead.
Brilliant. Good stuff. And from that point of view, then, I mean, I'm going to take this, and I'm not going to speak for you here, but your experience now using the advisor tools as well. Have we alleviated some of those problems? Do you find it easier now to sort of sell insurance and give your clients that information that they need?
For example, I can speak about our main automatization is for all our visa students. In every single quotation, we already include a cancellation fee and a cancellation insurance. So you do not even need to click it. So Edvisor prepared it. So every single student who is asking for an over 12-week quotation and is not coming from in the European Union, we automatically have on the budget, on the quotation, the line of the insurance. So that's when you avoid one single click per quotation when you are earning time. That was the great thing of Edvisor. And I know the platform, you call it Insurance Travel Finder. We also use it, we send it, but as I say, it's the student who manage it. So I don't need to look at the time my team spend on filling up forms or systems or payments, because the same thing, everything arrive on one single invoice monthly through Edvisor. So it works very well on that side.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, this was the first time that we used it for our camp programs. And as I mentioned before, we do build in our insurance to the camps. But given some of the challenges we faced with COVID restrictions, particularly quarantining rules and regulations and how they changed this summer or were at the last minute introduced, working together with the Edvisor team, we were able to look at a number of different plans that might work and be suitable for our students. That way we were able to direct them to the landing page, which was created for us, with a plan that we saw to be effective in terms of its coverage, and essentially pass that over to them to book on their own, which alleviated any of the back and forth we traditionally would have had to do with other insurance providers we work with, gathering, coverage information in different languages, showing fully what was included in the plan. Everything was there available in one spot. And I can't emphasize that enough. It made introducing this and providing this to our clients very easy, and it really truly provided a level of professionalism that we've not been able to offer in the past. So it was really effective for us. And I think of all the students coming to our camp program just in Toronto alone, half of them had purchased the plan because it was simple enough to understand, and it allowed them to also get that increased coverage.
And I want to include also the benefit of not dealing with the student when they are using the insurance, because to remember all the insurance details is complicated, but try to be on the middle between the user, who is your student, and the insurance is a nightmare. And we all know that even with our own insurance for house or cars. So that's also much more simple when you just, it's your insurance. Thank you, you bought it. You are the client of the insurance. You are not the client of Hong who pay an insurance on your name. That's also super important from my point of view.
Brilliant. And I suppose from that point of view as well, how easy was it to implement with your teams? Because one of the things, obviously, I understand as well, one of the things that I sometimes get feedback with schools is saying, they can be a bit apprehensive of using a new system or trying to implement something new as well. And we've tried to make it as simple as possible. But from your experience, guys, as well, internally as well as externally, has it been easy for your teams to adapt and to adopt the Edvisor insurance tools?
I think it depends how much you use Edvisor. So again, on our specific case, we use Edvisor for all our direct client or direct bookings. So it's already on the system. We already decide which is the insurance that we will propose for each kind of type. There is no, I don't think we should give the student too many choices, because how more choice you give, more problems you will have. So I give one single choice and you choose to get it. You have no the option of not getting it. So that's the biggest choice you can say is yes or yes, thank you. So that was the easiest way, because there is no second opinion. And that's how it works, because I did the same thing with the team. This is the new procedure. Every single student over 30 weeks will have this extra line. do not forget to put it on the invoice.
Yeah.
Just that. Beautiful democracy on my style, when no one's one opinion.
And Nick, how about for you? Has it been easy to implement internally as well as externally?
Yeah, absolutely. It was smooth sailing from the beginning, from, again, working with the advisor team to find the options, to presenting the options to our clients. We had no issues. And, you know, for COVID, with this particular plan that we used to introduce in our camps, you know, while we had the option to, you know, build in a margin there, because it was an additional plan at the last minute, obviously we didn't do that, but seeing the ease with which we could for future groups, for future bookings, I think that's very attractive, you know, for schools or for agencies as well that use this platform. So smooth sailing the whole way through, coverage given out to all the students without issue. And again, the support we received from your team was second to none. So yeah, very easy on our end.
Brilliant.
I want to thank Julieta and the team, obviously, because they are the ones who are receiving mainly the questions about my staff when they have any questions about the organization.
Yeah. And that's, again, that's a key part of the service, I think, as well, from an advisor point of view, is that you have that support. So if there is a question, if there is something that comes up, or, you know, if you were expecting a notification through from a policy and you didn't get it, we're here 24/7 to help with that as well. And I think you make a very good point there, David, that the team that we have are so wonderful at making sure you have everything you need, as well, to sort of really make sure that we're doing our best in that sense as well, in terms of service levels as well. I think it's an interesting point you said there, Nick, as well, about, you know, making that decision to add margin as well, because I think that's one of the things sometimes when looking at insurance, people aren't always sure of how much margin to add, what to put on there as well. I'm assuming you like the idea that there's flexibility within there as well, that you can choose kind of your own selling price essentially through the system as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, giving us that ability, again, to build with your team those margins, to, you know, have the landing page set up the way it is, reviewing all that ahead of time before it's shared with our clients. I think that's you know, that makes it very effective for us as well, to tweak accordingly and to offer the different types of options that may be, you know, more competitive or might help us in terms of providing a competitive quote or option for our different clients as well.
Fantastic. Okay, we have officially 3 minutes left on our webinar today. So I just wanted to mention again, does anyone have any questions, either from the chat or the Q&A, that they wanted to ask either of our panelists who are users of the tools, or myself indeed, or Edu, who's also in the chat as well? Does anyone have any questions that they want to add in during these last couple of moments? And whilst anyone does decide to sort of do that at the moment, I'm going to throw back to our panelists once more as well, with a quick look at, in terms of moving forward for you guys, do you think you are likely to add, I know, David, you had said, you know, giving the students too many options can actually be counterproductive from that point of view as well. But do you think insurance is going to be something that you maybe focus on maybe a little bit more than before in terms of revenue generation? Now, you know, I know I said it is kind of a side business, but you know, it is potentially going to be a revenue stream coming through potentially in the future.
Potentially, but we need to understand that in France, anyone that goes in a hospital will have everything for free. So there is not fear that you may have, for sure on the States. I don't know in Canada, but I know in the States, you break a nail and you need to pay some $1,000. Here in France, nothing, whatever it happens to you, you will not need to pay. You only pay for when you go to the pharmacy, to the drugstore, and you buy the drugs. That's the only thing you pay. So it's completely different to the States or any other country. For sure, with the COVID, and there is a change, and that's why we start with the insurance. But I don't think it will become so massive, because Latinos or people from Latin America, as people from Asia, most of them, because we are quite expensive, already have their own insurance, whatever is the credit card, the American Express. So they are already covered for most of the things.
Or through their agency, of course, as well.
Or through the agency.
Yeah.
And also because, as I say, you do not need to pay 1,000 euros if you go to the hospital. I mean, I never paid to go to the hospital. So that's completely different. And people who goes to France know that you will never show your credit card before your problem. That will never happen. So that's it. So I think it's going to be something, yes, but never a massive thing that it could be on other destinations.
Yeah. And Nick, you obviously have a slightly more varied group of destinations as well, where insurance kind of had different importance depending where you are.
Yeah, so I think for us, we'll certainly look to use this a lot more for that very reason. You know, operating in 5 different countries, you have to always have an option for students. And I think the way that this is offered and presented, it's clear, it's detailed, and it really takes a lot of the back and forth away from us. So it allows us to much more actively now start presenting this as an option to students when they're making their bookings. And yeah, that's where I see us moving towards. More actively over groups and individual bookings.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's very exciting for me to hear your feedback as well. Edvisor was obviously sort of started, and like as David said, he's been around since pretty much the start of Edvisor as well with Nick. But it was there to alleviate, you know, those high volume tasks from your team's days as well when they're dealing with agencies. And it's really exciting to see that now what we're also doing is providing this in a different stream in terms of looking at insurance. And I think it's really key for us that we continue to develop those ideas of helping not just monetarily, but also operationally as well, and making life a bit easier for everyone, which is obviously our goal as well. So on that note, I am going to wind us up now because we're officially at 31 minutes past the hour. But I want to say a huge thanks, David and Nick as well. It's been a real pleasure chatting to you both, as always. Thank you to everyone who attended as well. Please do get in touch with your Edvisor account manager or myself or Edu if you've got any questions about using our Edvisor insurance tools. And we're looking forward to welcoming you all to that marketplace very soon. So thank you and have a wonderful rest of the week.
Thank you.